In a major move, the Supreme Court has passed an order directing that all stray dogs in Delhi-NCR must be picked up within 8 weeks and housed in dedicated dog shelters, which will be set up by concerned authorities. The court has asked for the immediate setting up of shelters with sufficient personnel for their sterilisation. The court has also categorically stated that any resistance or interference from individuals and organizations will be met with strict action and they will be held in contempt of the court, as the decision has been taken after being motivated by public sentiments. The rise, of course, comes after the apex court in a previous hearing on the matter had raised serious concerns over the rising cases of dog bites and rabies deaths, stating that the elderly and children are specifically vulnerable to the same. Now, with questions over what exactly the large-scale exercise will entail, NewsX has come up with an action plan which may perhaps ease the implementation of the top court's order, beginning with a public-private partnership for the setting up of shelters, contributions to a fund towards the establishment of these shelters. Another move that could help is an all-round benefit towards sensitization programs for all dog catchers. An estimate of cost per year as well as a mass adoption program are also steps that could help us in solving the stray dog menace. The premise, of course, is very clear. In theory, we do need to find a solution to the problem of stray dogs. But at the same time, practically speaking, what exactly does that entail? Are 8 weeks enough? And what exactly were the governments doing so far? We take all of this forward. I have with me Atul Goel. He is president of the Urja RWA. Dr. Gurvinder Singh, senior surgeon at SPCA, Society for the Prevention of Cruelty Towards Animals, and Dr. Vijay Pathak, a veterinary surgeon, with me on the broadcast as well. Let me begin with Dr. Vijay Pathak. Dr. Pathak, I want to understand from you, sir, your thoughts on what it will take for the municipal authorities as well as for the government to implement the Supreme Court's order, sir.
Hello, everybody. The first thing it's going to take is a lot of time, lot of money, and lot of effort, and mostly is sincere effort. It's not as if what we generally see, that there are shelters and whatnot, and the poor dogs are kept in a very pitiable condition. So what we are here talking about is a huge number of animals which need to be kept for at least 8 to 10 years, which would need a lot of space, lot of effort, lot of people to look after it, and a lot of money also. In a way, it's an opportunity for all the people to learn. But personally, what I feel is it is something which is going to take maybe some sort of a superhuman effort for Supreme Court to get its job done in the way it wants it.
Okay, let me bring in Dr. Gurvinder Singh as well into the conversation. Dr. Gurvinder Singh, you're associated with the SPCA. If you can perhaps shed some light on the cost estimates for our viewers, sir. What does it take to really run a shelter? How much money is involved? How many dogs is the SPCA currently taking care of?
Means we have around 50 dogs which needs daily treatment, daily care, medical care. So for one dog, we need around 5,000 for surgery, which includes medicine, suture material. The suture material we are getting are so costly, around 500 to 600 per piece, and a large dog takes around 3 to 4 sutures. If you are talking about the whole dogs, stray dogs to captive in a one shelter, in the stray shelters, it will take a huge area. Means per city, it needs around 20 to 30 shelters, and for its running cost, one dog for only food and basic survival needs per month it will needs around 10,000.
Per month, it will need around 10,000 per dog, you're saying?
Yes, yes.
So per dog per month
Which
is
which which include electricity bills, their food bills, and medicines, everything.
so 10,000
Right
rupees
to the,
per dog takes care of one dog for a month, which includes their food, their medicine, as well as any other sterilization, vaccinations, everything,
and their maintenance. Yes.
their maintenance. And you're
Yeah.
saying, Dr. Singh, that we would require 20 to 30 such shelters in Delhi if we are to round up all the stray dogs.
Yeah. It depends upon the city, upon the population also. For big city, we need more than 30 also. But I belong to like Ludhiana in our city and cities in our Punjab. We need around more than 30 shelter per city. And rest of the like in villages, stray dogs per village, you need 1 to 2 shelters. They should be perfectly running, should be funded at a proper timing, because I am saying that government making delay in the funding. So people are funding to the shelter, they are giving food, they are helping, so they are running well. If we keep on the government, then there will be so much delay. For us also, we need, when we need of medicines, when we make a order of the medicines and the proper equipments and give to the shelter, to the government officials, they give our demands back in around 2 to 3 months.
Okay. Let me bring back Dr. Vijay Pathak into the conversation as well. Dr. Vijay Pathak, I want to have a very practical conversation with you, sir, because there's no time left for theory. The theory has been spelled out by the Supreme Court on what needs to be done. But I want to understand from your perspective, why is it that our municipal corporations and others have really failed to carry out the sterilization exercises? We had programs like ABC that was supposed to be implemented, but what do you think becomes the biggest hurdle in terms of their implementation? We don't obviously want to now be known as a country that has deaths because of rabies, which is an entirely preventable disease.
There are a couple of points I'd like to make. First of all, with all due apologies, the order given by Supreme Court is practically impossible to carry out. And that's the problem. To start with, orders are given which practically cannot be carried out. So what you have is things going on in paper because people who have been ordered to do this, they know they cannot do this. That's why the whole system, the whole order, the whole approach fails, whether it's the ABC or whatever. Second part is the international fight. Essentially, for things to be achieved, there should be a coordination between the government agencies, the people who are feeding dogs, dog feeders, so called, much maligned dog feeders, plus RWAs and the animal welfare associations. They need to come together. What you will practically see is all of them are fighting each other. That's the second issue. Number one, the one part is the orders are impossible to execute. Second, instead of fighting, people should come together. Only then it can be done. Third part, of course, again is that, as Dr. Gurvinder said, there is lack of funds. Funds at the proper time, that is a sore need. Plus, of course, you need a lot of trained people, which of course you can have. But essentially, impossible orders to be carried out with people fighting each other. That is the main hurdle. There's nobody to overlook all the things. We need a nodal person, somebody who is able to ensure that all the things are running smoothly. And he is able to ensure that, yes, whatever demands are needed, they are met. And for that, you need to have primary thing, shelters first. If you don't have shelters, you start picking up animals, what happens? They are approaching it in the wrong way. First of all, build up your capacity, only then go in for the whole thing. Without building up the capacity, I have been going through the order. They said, "Oh, okay, within 6 weeks, do this." How do you build shelters within 6 weeks? How do you equip them within 6 weeks? And for that matter, how do you get adequate number of trained staff there? So, the order is something which is impossible to fulfill. That's why the tries made by people are lame.
But
So
Dr.
it's
Vijay
not
Pathak, do you feel that somewhere this could possibly lead to a rather ugly situation on the streets of the national capital in the coming days? Because what anyone is saying is that 8 weeks is too less a time. How do we find the space for these shelters? How many acres would be required of land would be required per shelter so that the dogs can be looked after well? We don't have any numbers either. There is no, I don't think there's any survey that has been conducted, Dr. Pathak, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but any survey that may have been conducted to understand the numbers that we're looking at of stray dogs?
actually, ma'am, surveys have been conducted. Different agencies have conducted different surveys, but nobody has come up with the exact number. What probably they can do is that there is a huge number of dogs which have already been sterilized. So they can start with dogs which are not sterilized. Instead of picking them all en masse, start with dogs which have not been sterilized, sterilize them, vaccinate them, keep them in shelters, and things need to come together. And people need to be practical about it, whether it's the Supreme Court or the government or whatever, saying that, okay, let me give you an example. 1970s, we had that Garibi Hatao thing. Has it been removed? No. So my request or my suggestion would be that these people should not convert it into a mere slogan. They should make it workable. Like we had this, let's say, toilets made in every house, right? So proper authority, proper funding, proper chain of command was set up, and adequate resources were provided. Only then things can be done. Just saying, okay, get them off the street within 8 weeks. No, it's not going to work.
Okay, I want to bring in Dr. Gurvinder Singh's perspective as well. Dr. Singh, how much time does it take to also train the staff that will be required? Because the Supreme Court has in theory said that there has to be adequately trained staff. So if we are looking at, say, a shelter home that, and I'm just giving out random numbers here. If we're looking at a shelter home that houses anywhere between 150 to 200 dogs, in your estimate, how much land would that require and how much staff would that require day and night to look after the dogs there?
For more than 150 dog, we need around 5 acres of land, and staff should be educated and should be trained. Uh, Untrained staff will make the things worse. Like after surgery, dog needs around 21 days care, which includes proper medication, proper feeding. If we don't look around the dog, they take out their sutures because they don't know what they have done to them. So they should be trained, and untrained staff should be not be entertained. Uh,
Okay.
5 to 10 acres land should be required. Yeah.
Okay, so 5 to 10, between 5 to 10 acres of land for just 150 to 200 dogs. And as far as the number of trained staff is concerned, we're not really sure, but I'm assuming anywhere between 10 to 20 people per shelter home would easily be required. I
Yeah.
also have with me Advocate Sonali Chopra joining us on the broadcast. Ms. Chopra, your thoughts, ma'am, on the order that has been issued by the Supreme Court, and what exactly become the next steps for the municipal authorities and other people in the national capital, so that the next 8 weeks are not simply about protests on the street or it becoming ugly for our furry friends out there. What is it that really practically now needs to be done?
Unfortunately, the order passed by the Honorable Supreme Court does not look at the practicality. I say that with certain responsibility, being an animal welfare activist myself. It is not possible to pick up the 10 lakh dogs that are there in Delhi at the moment and to put them in shelters. It is not possible. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the implementation skills, because if we did, the ABC, which has been there since 2000, early 2000s, would have been implemented by now. Unfortunately, the implementation of the ABC is a fail, due to which we've reached this stage today. And it was an absolute disheartening situation to see the order that was passed today. I do not think it can be implemented in a way where the furry friends, as you said, are not harmed.
Okay, but Advocate Chopra, why do you think that the court has not pulled up the municipal corporations? Because we all know about the ABC program that was expected to be implemented over the past many decades. Why do you think that that program has failed and we've reached the stage of having 10 lakh dogs? Here we were discussing with our experts how much land it would take to shelter anywhere between 150 to 200 dogs, and our experts say minimum of 5 acres of land. You're talking about 10 lakh dogs. We can all do the maths ourselves of how much land itself that would require. So why do you think that we have failed to implement the ABC? What have been the major hurdles? Perhaps if we are able to address those hurdles, we may be able to take a step forward.
The hurdles, number one, has been the corruption, unfortunately. It is what it is. There are allocated funds to run the ABC program with designated ABC centers. I have personally visited ABC centers and seen their state. Half of them do not function as on date. As individual caregivers and other NGOs, we are sterilizing and inoculating dogs on our own with our own funds. It is actually people who are on-ground caregivers who are implementing the ABC as far as it has been implemented today. Why the Honorable Supreme Court has not pulled up the municipal corporations is a question I ask myself also. There were many animal welfare authorities as well as organizations present before the Honorable Supreme Court today with applications for intervention. However, they were not heard and were dismissed at the outset. So they did not have a chance to put forward this reality of the municipal corporations and the lack of implementation of the ABC. And it is a question I wish the Honorable Supreme Court asks in the dates to come.
Okay, we also have Advocate Chopra, stay on with me. We also have some breaking news coming in. I'm learning that in latest developments, the Supreme Court's order on stray dogs has now gotten a comment from the Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta. She's lauded this decision and she says that it's important for the people of the national capital and that she wants to give people of Delhi relief from street dogs. So this is a statement that has come in from Rekha Gupta. Advocate Chopra, as a person who looks after stray dogs herself, what is the time that you would expect the courts to perhaps give the municipal corporations as well as to people like yourself and other NGOs that are involved, which is a practical amount of time to solve this problem? We are not the first country that's faced with it. We have to be very clear about that. There have been countries like Netherlands, Thailand, Bhutan, etc., who all have managed this problem. But the issue that we face is the sheer scale at which a problem has to be addressed in India. We are not like Thailand, we are not like Bhutan, we are not like Netherlands. But that doesn't mean that we put our hands up. My question then to you is, it's a problem. Yes, people should not be having to suffer from dog bites. Yes, children and elderly should not be dying from rabies deaths. Rabies is an entirely preventable disease. There is no reason for even a single rabies death to take place in India today. How do we chart out the future course of action? I'm sure lawyers are lining up before the court and action will be taken. If there is a revision to the court's order, what would you hope to see in that revision? My question to you.
At the outset, yes, legal teams are being made to take necessary steps. What I personally feel is the first step is to gather the correct data. Unfortunately, all of this has reached a stage because of incorrect data. The article of the Times of India, of which suo motu cognizance was taken, in my respectfully and very humble submission, contained absolutely wrong data. it did not have the right numbers. Today, any one of us goes to any government hospital to get anti-rabies injections. We all get anywhere between 1 to 5 doses. Now, is the data being presented by the government? Are these 5 doses being counted as one incident, or are they being counted as separate incidents? Now, when you go for an anti-rabies injection, you are not asked whether a pet dog bit you, a stray dog bit you, a monkey bit you. How did the injury come? There is no record. So all of this, it could be a monkey bite, which is now being calculated in the data, being alleged data being presented as the rabies data for India. And like you said, it's a completely curable and avoidable disease. The problem lies in the lack of implementation of the ABC. So what is the reasonable time? The answer to this entire problem is the full and proper implementation of the ABC. And the timing, it doesn't take too long. It just needs a collective effort, which has unfortunately not happened till date. Make people like me and the other NGOs, the bigger players in the market who are doing it at a much larger scale. Let caregivers, government organizations, everybody come together. Let us sit and plan the implementation. That's never happened, ever.
Okay, all right. On that note, I thank all of our guests for joining us. I also have with me Mr. Atul Goyal, President of Urja, the RWA. Mr. Goyal, your thoughts on the order of the Supreme Court today?
We definitely welcome the order, but the apprehensions on the part of the municipal corporations are very true, but we shall understand that they have a habit and track record of performing under pressure only. So let us wait for 8 weeks and then say what they have done, what they have not done. Because we have seen many a times during the disaster they have performed. So definitely it seems a very gigantic task. So basically, as far as the management of 5 acres, one of the panelists was speaking about for 150 dogs, is too much of a land. I don't think that much land is required for accommodating 150. Half an acre or 1 acre is good enough, but enough space is there. These people must have made certain planning at their end and some SOPs how they will execute because they are always in the habit of coming up with the fake narratives and fake wordings and fake tables before the honorable courts. So let us see how the panja of the court is basically fall on these guys and slap these guys for the right communication, right track, right execution in public domain. And I think the stray dogs is not the only issue. We have stray cattle, we have monkeys. There are so many which needs to be tackled at the same time. And besides, we cannot simply say that remove the stray dogs. They are definitely an essential part of the humanity, and the nature plays. They balance the nature also. So you have to be very careful while dealing with this with the animals. And let us see. And the statement of the CM. I am not aware of the statement of the mayor of the municipal corporation and the commissioner of the municipal corporation, what they have to say. But if the leadership of the city is confirmed that they will deliver in public domain, so there is no reason to disbelieve. Let us believe them and wait for the period to expire before we react.
Okay, all right. We leave it there.